Hi everybody, Steve Griffiths here, developer of the MTPredictor software program. In today's MTPredictor video, I'd like to have another look at Bitcoin and see what the current market position is as we look at what Bitcoin's doing at the moment. But as usual, we have to start with our risk disclaimer and remind you that all examples in these videos should be considered as hypothetical. No trades are actually taken, they're just shown for illustration and training purposes only. Also remind you there's a risk of loss in trading and investing. Put another way, all professional traders know and understand, but more importantly accept that losses can and will and do happen. This is important to understand. There will always be losing trades no matter what system you are approaching. The trick is to keep those losses small, but losses can and will and always do unfold when trading. Right, let's have a look at a 15-minute chart of Bitcoin. This is Bitcoin against the US dollar using our bar chart data feed. First, I'd like to start with an apology for our MTPredictor users who were in our MTPredictor customer training webinar yesterday when I was analysing this particular DP buy setup here, because I was looking at this and I was saying because it didn't come in at major DP support off this previous low here, that it probably wouldn't be a good one to take, even though it was on a black MTP trend. What I failed to do, and I should have done, because I was rushing towards the end of the webinar, so I apologize to that, is as usual we should always go to the higher time frame charts. So if you go out to the 1 hour chart, which is a time frame between 3 and 5 time frames higher, so if you're on the 15-minute chart, the higher time frame would be the 1 hour. If we go out to the 1 hour chart, I'll just take that off and look at the Elliott wave pattern going down into the low here. If I right mouse click, then do Elliott wave intermediate, can you see how this was a lovely 5-wave sequence? But you see how the hourly low came in at the minimum wave 5 WPT. I'll put that DP back on again. So even though the market did not quite make our DP support, it did come in at the minimum wave 5 WPT on the higher time frame. Therefore, if you are now looking to trade this on the shorter time frame, i.e. the 15-minute chart, this one here may be one that you'd want to consider. So let's place the analysis on this. Right mouse click, do analysis. So as you can see, that would have been a nice trade there up into the first target for 3.1R profit. So that's why I wanted just to add that extra analysis in, because I was rushing at the end of the customer webinar, so I should have actually gone to the 15-minute chart and looked at the higher time frame analysis. So hopefully that makes that all clear. We also looked at our Holy Grail TS1 buy setup there and noted that again, that didn't unfold as anticipated, with the market dropping back down to new lows here. So let's have a look at the current position. Let's go back out to our daily chart again and just remind ourselves of our daily chart position, in that where we have unfolded in an ABC decline down here. If I place the analysis on, you can see there's our ABC decline off the 20,000 high there, and particularly we're at DP support also as of a few days ago. So it'll be very interesting to see whether this low here, I'll just take all this lot off and put the DP support back on again, to see whether this DP support holds at this particular level. If it does, then we have the potential for Bitcoin to make another leg up. But obviously if this DP level fails and the market trades below this, then we're probably going to have a breakdown in the large degree trend for Bitcoin. So this is an important level to keep an eye on in the future days and weeks ahead. But let's go back to the hourly chart. And in particular, let's go back to this 5-wave sequence down here. As I demonstrated in the MTPredictor customer training webinar yesterday, it's amazing how many times Bitcoin makes these 5-wave sequences. So it actually is unfolding very nicely at the moment. But what do we know about the completion of a 5-wave sequence? Well, from this we know that the initial target is the DP from the prior wave 4. So if we go back to the prior wave 4, we right mouse click, do our DP. This would be our target on our hourly chart. What also do we know? We also know that if this is exceeded, then we probably retrace the entire prior 5-wave sequence. So in other words, we go back to this previous high here, right mouse click, do DP, then that would be the target. So basically what we're looking at is if we get a break above this particular level here, which is around the 11,400 level, around there, a significant break beyond that, then more than likely we're hoping to see a continued rally up into this DP target here. So this will be an interesting breaking point or decision point to see what the Bitcoin does in the next few days ahead. If this doesn't get exceeded and we get some kind of correction in here, then we may well get a decline down. If I go back a bit further and I just take that one off, in the customer training webinar yesterday I also placed the DP on from the last swing into this low. For you customers who've been following us for a while will know this is what we do, is that's the last low came into major support. This is the last swing down to the low, so the DP off this level is basically an important resistance area. And we were looking at this in our customer webinar yesterday and saw that basically Bitcoin almost got to this level here, but it did at this particular point here, failed and then rolled over. That's the start of our 5-wave sequence. So this again is a major level for Bitcoin. So if this level or this resistance level holds, then we're probably going to be looking for a breakdown on the large degree trend. If it doesn't, well then that's an area which we should be looking at for a continued rally. So we have a couple of points to look at. That previous high there, and in particular the DP off that. So if we get to this level, then that is definitely a level where we want to look to see what Bitcoin does. A continued move beyond that again will signal significant strength, but that is definitely a resistance area. In the shorter term, this hourly resistance area here again has proved to be resistant so far. So if we get a significant break beyond that, then we'll be looking for the next resistance level up there. So as you can see, we've got our stall set out here for some important support and resistance levels that Bitcoin could be reacting off in the next few days and weeks ahead. But the main reason for doing this video was again to have a closer look at this DP sell here, sorry, DP buy here, and show how it is at the end of a 5-wave sequence on the higher time frame chart, and as such it may have been a good one to consider. For more experienced users, rather than looking to come out at the first target here, you could have then gone up to the higher time frame resistance area, which was on the hourly chart, and as you can see there, it's our 60-minute resistance up here for your target, and that would have increased the profit up to 4.5 hours. It would have been a nice trade. Since then, you can see the market has declined down. There would have been a little TS2 sell here, down into that target there for a nice 2.3 hour profit. Again, the MTP trend is red, so that would have been coming off this resistance area, so that would have been a good one to take. So that would have been a good trade as well, recently as well. The DP buy and the TS1 buy again probably may not have been such good ones to take, even though again look at this, look, we do elliott wave intermediate. That DP buy again came in at the end of a 5-wave sequence, and again the market rallied up to where? Rallied up to just beyond the DP from the prior wave 4. So on the shorter time frame, on the 15-minute, again this is an area where we'd be looking for resistance. So it'll be interesting to see what this DP sell that's just coming in here at the moment does, whether it does prove to be a profitable trade or if it gets stopped out. If it gets stopped out, remember we use position sizing to keep our losses small. So when the losses come through, and there will be always losses, it's inevitable with any kind of trading approach that losses always will come through. The trick is keeping these losses small. This is why we use position sizing. In this case, we use, if I go to our accounts and risk, we have a custom setting in here for our currencies, in which you can set a fractional setting for your cryptocurrency trading. Right, let's clear that all off. So as you can see, MTPredictor has been doing a good job in catching some of the recent swings on Bitcoin, in particular the way it seems to be unfolding with these nice 5-wave sequences and our DPs from our prior wave 4 high. But let's see what Bitcoin does over the next few days and weeks ahead, in particular with the support and resistance levels that we've outlined. But hopefully this is a good video to show you how we do analysis in MTPredictor on Bitcoin.